This is the cue video. So if you want to get your pencil out to write down the cues and stuff like that, yeah. This is just things to like look out for, like help landmarks. Like I said in the last video, or for movement 3, it's kind of like, let's say you see like a landmark, like you see the Eiffel Tower, you know you're in Paris. Or if you see the Statue of Liberty, you're like, oh my God, we're in New York. Like it's kind of like that, but with the music, like things to look out for, and they'll tell you where you are. So first movement, gonna start off so this video can be short. So the first 2 measures, kind of weird, confusing. You don't know where to come in. I don't know where to come in. But marimba starts on measure 1. So there's gonna be count off whenever you hear the marimba. That's beat 1, like of that rest, not this measure, but that one. Okay. And then once they say, they all think I'm mad, you have 4 measures, like 1, 2, 3, ba, daga, 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 daga. So it's like, they all think I'm mad, ba, 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 daga, 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 daga. And then 14 is just drums, da, 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 daga, 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 daga. And then the horn phrase, like the ba, 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 that starts at B. So 16 and 18, its own thing, drums or whatever. Horn phrase starts on B. Okay? And then for 28 and 29, there's the dramatic build, like the da, 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 da. You're gonna hear 4 of those before we come in. Not 4 beats, but 4 half notes. Like how we play in 30 and 31, we're like da, da. You're gonna hear 4 of those. So it's gonna sound like after 27, ba, 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 da, da, ba, 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 and that's it. Okay, that last ba, ba, that's us. Okay. In 30, 34, and 35, 36, saxes have the melody. They play the Bill Nye the Science Guy. We play whole notes. That's not important. So you want, it's kind of like a sports sondo, but a little bit slower, you know? Like the da, ba, 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 ba. You want to be able to hear the saxes. Also, on the field, once on competition, it'll be a cool moment. Like people, think about it. Like people in the audience, if we give the room for the saxes to play, the audience is gonna be like, "Oh my God, that's Bill Nye!" So we wanna give the saxes room. Okay, I want to be able to hear if we do like practice this or like go over and run 34 and 36, I want to hear that decrescendo and be like, oh, that's where saxes come in. I want to know where saxes come in. So fall after like after like 2 beats of 34, so like da ba 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 ba, then just go back up, but let them finish their phrase and then join them back. But not too much, because you need to have room to keep growing. And 37 and 40, you need to pick that up. Okay. And synth starts at measure 41. Yeah. And then the beaker thing, okay, 68 is the mwahaha. So the mwahaha is at 68. Trumpets play at D. Yeah, all of D. So 71 to 78. That's trumpets. And then after that, there's that. There's a cymbal roll in 98. 98 is the start of a cymbal roll, and then section E, or measure 99, is when the cymbal roll is done. It'll fade, but it's done. So that is measure 99. Okay. So, and then there's that 4 count rest, or 4 measure rest, from 107 to 110. Drums dim near like the last 2 measures. You're gonna hear dimming drums. So like here, I have drums dim near the second half, and then the drums start building up at 111. And then you're gonna hear like a similar, oh my God, my paper keeps falling. You're gonna hear a similar thing to the beginning, to like that da 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 da, and measure 119 and 120. So you want to hear 4 of those again, not 4 quarters, but 4 halves. So da da, but I think it's like beats. It's like da 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 da, and then we're like ba. So it's 4 of those like half hits. There's no chords. We are the chord. But you hear 4 hits from percussion, 4 half note hits, and then we come in. So it's da, 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 ba, and then we do the ba at 121. And then the 7 measures of rest in section F, so 125 to 131. That's a sax solo. And then every measure of rest, like in section G, so like for example, 136, that's just sax. And then 139 is sax, 140 is sax, 144 is sax, and that's it for measure 1. I mean, freaking movement 1. Movement 2. My music keeps flying everywhere, maybe because my fan is on. Okay, the count off. First 2 measures that are not numbered, that's now let's test the theory. That's the first 2 measures. When the guy says, let's test the theory. Piano part starts at measure 1. And then that's where piano part starts at measure 1. And then in section H, like, so measure 9, that's when the piano starts getting fancier. And for 17 and 18, I don't know if we're gonna, apparently the clarinet solo was cut, but if we're having a solo that's not a clarinet in this beginning section, there's gonna be a whole note. That's when the soloist holds the whole note. 17 and 18, and there's a writ there. There's not too much here. Okay, there's like okay, and in 37:41, 3 beats before we come in, there's a Bill Nye motif again. I forgot what it sounds like. It's like oh, it's like bells are like glockenspiel or something like that, or tubulars. They're like ba 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 ba, and then we come in. That's kind of iffy, so I'm not sure about that one. And then measure 45, it's let's test the theory, and that's it. Moving on to movement 3, 100, 1,000, million, trillion. Okay, so drums come in, or percussion comes in, measure 11. Marimba comes in measure 15. And the guy's like, it's working, at measure 24. That starts there. And then from section M, it's like when it gets all funky. The weird science guy, he's like, weird science. That starts at like that starts in like measure 37. So here, I just have like a line cross for like the first measure, and then weird science written for that, like 3/4 of that measure, or 2/3 of that measure. In measures 44 and 45, they match how the guy's singing, like weird, like bits and pieces, something. So that's something to listen to. We're mimicking that. And then brass plays. There's a brass feature at measure 56 and 57 of section O. Marimba comes in measure 72 of section Q. Drums have their own thing at 87, so that's something you can listen to or look out for. And that's